Sonic 3 is peak adaptation. And I'm not saying it's the best movie in the world. I'm not even saying it's the best video game movie in the world. I'm just saying that this is what you do when you want to please hardcore fans, when you want to please casual fans, heck, when you want to please people who have never even seen or played the original property. This film works well on all levels, and I know this because I went 15 deep with a bunch of friends to go see Sonic 3 on Saturday, and I gotta tell you, we were a mixture of hardcore Sonic fans that played all the games, know all the lore, catch all the Easter eggs, and then there was people like me who played the games as a child but never really got remember the story or really got into the lore or the later Sonic stuff, and there was people who never even seen the first two movies or really know anything about Sonic lore that all enjoyed the movie, because on a basis there's things for everyone in this movie. And there's a few reasons why this movie was just such a great time at the theater. I have three main reasons why, and the first one is Shadow the Hedgehog, the introduction of Shadow the Hedgehog in this film, voiced by Keanu Reeves. This character is very important to the Sonic lore and a very big fan favorite, and they did a great job bringing him to life the way that the fans wanted him to be brought to life, but also doing a good job for, if you've never even heard of Shadow, you can immediately invest into the character, because he's a character that's similar to anime characters like Vegeta or Sasuke, these characters who are mirrors of the main character, but more of a darker path because of the way their lifestyle was. And Keanu Reeves does a fantastic job voicing his character, bringing the badassery to the character the way it deserves, even them having kind of a John Wick reference with the rain in the movie, which was awesome. And also, because his character has such a tragic backstory, he brings those emotional moments with a lot of heft. It does a really great job of getting you invested in basically the character that's the villain of the film. The movie lists a lot of story beats and plot points from the Sonic Adventure series, which I know is going to please a lot of fans because that's some of their favorite games, and they do a really good job of implementing the darker elements into the film, because the film is still a kid's movie, right? It's not something like, whoa, it's too dark, kids can't go. Your kids are going to go love it. But I think they went dark enough that adults can start relating to the story a little bit, where it's not just so goofy, and having Shadow be such a mirror to what Sonic could have been if he didn't have his Earth group and family and friends, plus where Sonic might have been going. Because the way the story goes, Sonic goes on an emotional arc that leads him down a darker path, which I thought was really good. So these two button heads was really, really dope. And the second and probably the biggest reason this movie works is Jim Carrey's performance as Dr. Robotnik. Absolutely carries this film with his performance as he ups the game in this movie, being 10 times more goofier than he's been in the other ones. And can you believe that? Because he's been pretty goofy in the first two films, but in an endearing way and a very entertaining way. Just a lot of gags, fourth wall breaking, dance numbers, a whole lot of adult jokes that are cool innuendos for us to get and kids are probably not going to understand. And he just does a great job of injecting so much energy into the film that you can't help but get sucked into the fun and laugh at certain points, or just really just strap in to what he's doing. But they do a really good job of also balancing a little bit as he gets his own a little bit of emotional arc for the first time in the film, where you actually kind of care about his character. And I really, really was happy that they did that here. They did a really good job with every single character that's and love from the Sonic franchise, and giving them something to do with, something for the audience to latch onto, so as they led to this finale. And I'll say the third biggest reason why I think this movie works is the overall filmmaking. I was shocked to see that this movie looks better in terms of lighting and cinematography than a lot of big blockbusters that we got this year, and some movies that are going to be getting some Oscar buzz that might be up for Oscars. I was shocked that they took that extra step to make this movie look really great on the big screen. It's an absolutely gorgeous film with certain scenes that you could just take a screenshot and make sure is your wallpaper, and you're going to be wowed by. And the designs and the VFX on all of the non-human characters are incredible. The first two Sonic movies, they look good. They look really good, but they look so much better here. They put the extra work to make them even more lifelike than before, interact with environments in a very, very cool way, especially with rain. And you can see every little follicle and hair on them so well. And even I think emotion-wise, the way they emote on their face is even better. They look so great. And the reason why they had to do that is because this movie, and I think a problem that a lot of people had with the first two movies is the human involvement, especially like the human characters that are made up for this franchise, is toned down. I think what they did with the first two movies, it made it really a lot about like the humans and Sonic helping them with their problems. They toned all that down and created them as supporting characters in this one, so the focus is on the Sonic characters, Shadow, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic himself, and those are the main characters driving the force, and the human characters that's not Dr. Robotnik are just supporting that story as much as they can and take a back seat. And just like the Transformers franchise with Transformers 1, it benefited the story and the characters for the humans to take a backseat. The movie also has a bunch of Easter eggs from across the Sonic franchise sprinkled throughout the film, but it's added to the story so it's not distracting or feel like it's taking a detour just to do it like a lot of other franchises do. And also the movie's paced really well. The first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie was a little rough, and I was kind of worried because it's a lot of like cringy one-liners and just really like silly stuff that I know the kids will love but adults will roll their eyes at. But after that, the movie completely takes off and does not stop. This movie was going, like gotta go fast was written in each line of the script for it to go. It looked like it was trying to lap Sonic himself, how fast this movie felt like it was going. But it was always engaging. I never felt bored, and I didn't think that the movie was skipping out on elements that we need to stay and take its time. Because when it slowed down, it didn't feel like the movie slowed down. It was just, you had to get this emotional moment so you can get invested in what the characters were doing. And that last part of the filmmaking is that the action is absolutely sublime. Holy crap, I was enthralled in every single action sequence. Nothing super innovative, but just sometimes when you watch these kind of films, whether they're sci-fi or fantasy or comic book adaptations, sometimes you feel like they could have took this up another level. They just could have took this up another notch, and this movie went that notch, went the extra mile to give you that great action. Even the scenes that you see in the trailer that we've seen over and over as if you watch the trailers a bunch, are still really great in the context of the film and expanded upon, and there's little stuff that they didn't put in the trailers. But that third act, the action sequences that happen in there are absolutely mind-blowing, amazing on the levels of like some of the great anime fights you may see if you are a big anime fan. And man, it was just so great to see on the screen, especially with how great the movie looked, and there was that added emotional depth to it that the movie took its time to build towards. I'm not saying that this movie is like some really emotionally written masterpiece. I'm just saying for this franchise, they did the work throughout the movie to get you invested in what was going on and why this last section of action pieces was epic. And yeah, this movie is a Sonic fan's wet dream. I really just gotta say that. And you know, if you are not a Sonic fan, if you're not even really a big fan of the first two movies, can you pick the movie apart? Absolutely. Cringy dialogue here and there that will make your eyes roll. There are certain things that happen in the movie that kind of just happen without any explanation, and they don't really explain how and why. Things kind of just happen. The movie really moves really fast paced, and it's not the most innovative story in the world. But I think like if you're in for like a writing masterclass of a movie, you're watching the wrong film. It's a Sonic movie. Sonic films are a blast of color, personality, one-liners, and action that's going to make it a really fun thrill ride for kids, and I think that they did enough here to make it a great thrill ride for adults as well. I always thought the first Sonic and the second Sonic were good movies that I enjoyed, that I understand it's definitely not great stories, but this one is the legit first great one, and I'm super excited to see where the franchise moves forward here. Nevertheless, whether you are a hardcore fan, a casual fan like me, or someone that just wants to go to the theaters and vibe out with your kids because they want to see it, or with friends that are excited to see it, I think this is going to be a really good thrill ride that you can strap in and just have some fun for like 2 hours. So with that said, I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a B. Question of the day is, what is your favorite video game adaptation? Whether it was adapted to a movie or a TV show or anything else. Let me know in the comments down below what your answer is, and you can watch more of my content right now.